Ours is a dynamic world of natural and man-made disasters. It is a world that requires an ability to respond rapidly and appropriately when a disaster occurs. Medical care is an essential part of that response, and the resources of a state-of-the-art trauma center in a rapidly deployable, self-contained unit meets the need of such a situation. That unit is Carolinas Med 1, developed and owned by Carolinas Medical Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. It has been tested in the desperate aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in Waveland, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. It has been used to decompress the badly stressed hospitals of New Orleans during Mardi Gras 2006. It has met those challenges and performed not only to expectations, but to the medical needs of those who utilized the unit and its services. Carolinas Med 1 is a 14-bed emergency department, including a 2-bed resuscitation and operating room. Capabilities within its enclosed 1,000 square feet include surgical hemorrhage control, invasive and non-invasive advanced life support for cardiac care, minor surgeries, fracture realignment and stabilization, complicated wound repair, post-resuscitation and critical care monitoring, both cardiac and respiratory, and common emergency department care. The unit travels as 2 tractor trailers with equipment and supplies in the second trailer. Equipment includes digital X-ray, pharmacy, lab, ventilators and monitors for a 4-bed ICU, including a pediatric bed. And there is a chair for emergency dental procedures. Satellite capability allows for transmitting images back to Carolinas Medical Center for real-time consultation with specialists if needed. A tent that surrounds the trailer can hold an additional 120 beds if the unit is needed as an inpatient hospital. Med 1 is staffed by physicians, nurses, paramedics, and other ancillary support staff from Carolinas Medical Center and the Mecklenburg EMS Agency. Security is provided by the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police SWAT team, and it can be ready to receive patients within 20 minutes of arriving on scene. The setup of Med 1 is uncomplicated, but at the same time complex enough that coordination and control is required for safety and efficiency. Once site selection has been made and security established, the real work begins. Units are moved into place and parked, with care being taken to allow for the erection of the tent addition if it is required for the assigned mission. Units are also placed so that there is minimal movement while loading and unloading the equipment. In this configuration, the tent will not be used, and as you can see, the units are placed closer than they would be for full mission capabilities. Due to the number of tasks required for the operation to begin, personnel are divided into 4 teams, each with specific assigned responsibilities. Once the units are parked, the hospital unit driver will disconnect the tractor and prepare for leveling the hospital. The first step is to get power to the systems. Team 1 pulls the power cable from the storage box on the hospital, while Team 2 does the same for the primary support unit. While the connections are being made, Team 3 begins to unload rolling stock from the side door of the primary support unit. The rear door of the hospital does not require external power, so the lift is made ready for use and the door is opened while the external power connections are made. Connections are color-coded and have distinct male-to-female connections to avoid mistakes during this process. One member of Team 4 will be hoisted into the closed operating room via a side access to unstow and guide the surgical lights. This will avoid damage from deployment of the OR slide-out. Once the power connections are completed and the generators are running, full external power is now supplied. The hydraulic system that levels the unit and deploys the slide-outs can be activated by a switch located near the front of the hospital behind a locked panel. The hospital unit is leveled and the rear lift and door of the support truck are made ready for equipment to be unloaded. Team 3 now has full access to the support truck and both side and rear doors can be utilized for unloading. The remainder of Team 4 will observe the hospital slide-outs as they are deployed, beginning from the rear. Securing the flooring, activating the onboard diagnostic and communication systems, and placing the rolling equipment in its proper location is completed by Team 4. Team 1 now begins the outside preparations for full operations. The side stanchions are secured, and the filler pieces around the slide-outs are emplaced. Team 2 begins to remove the access ramps from the trailer and places them in the assembly areas. The ramps and side rails have been color-coded and numbered for ease of assembly. The ramp for the rear of the hospital is the first assembled to aid in the loading of equipment. Next, the OR exit ramp is assembled and placed, followed by the emergency side exit ramp and stairs. Once the rolling equipment has been moved into the hospital and the support truck secured, Teams 2 and 3 join and complete the final assembly of ramps and/or begin unloading the tentage as the mission requires. Once the slide-outs have been deployed, Team 1 begins preparation for operations. Stainless steel covers are placed over the movable seams on the floor. The ramp that allows movement into the OR is lowered, and the floor piece below the lab is secured. Med 1 is now a fully capable medical center, able to provide care to those in need. Carolina's Med 1 is the prototype for a new generation of rapidly mobile, self-contained disaster response healthcare facilities. Its first deployment to the Gulf Coast has been hailed as a success by local, state, regional, and national leaders and healthcare experts. Most importantly, it provided care, sometimes life-saving care, to 7,500 people, many of whom had lost everything to Hurricane Katrina. For those who asked prior to that initial deployment, will it work? The answer came back a resounding, unconditional yes. 2, 3.